Hello and welcome to my channel, The Hot Tub Host. Make sure you like and subscribe. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to drain, clean, fill, and balance a hot tub. This water is about a year old, but as you can see I kept it pretty clean. It is however time to drain it, so today I'm going to show you how I do it. First we're going to go ahead and take out the filter. Make sure you remove all the plastic pieces, set them aside, and then go ahead and take the filter out. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. I'm going to go ahead and throw my filter away, so I'm going to go ahead and set it over here to the side. When we get into the middle of the video, I'll go ahead and replace it. Next up is the Jet Clean. I like the Leisure Time product. The directions are on the back. I'm going to add this whole bottle to my water while the jets are running. This is just going to clean out the lines, the film, the biofilm, and all the nasty stuff that builds up in there over time. As you can see, it's starting to work. I'm going to let this run in the jets for about 20 minutes. I'll let it sit for another 20 minutes, and then I'll run the jets again for another 20 minutes. So it's going to take about an hour or so just to get all the film out, but I will let this run, get it nice and bubbly, and I'll show you what's next. After it's all done, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the breaker. Then I use the shop vac to start a siphon. As you can see, I got it hooked up. I will go ahead and prime the water, and the water starts siphoning out. Doing this way is much faster than the gravity drain. It usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes to drain all the 450 gallons here in this tub. As you can see, the water level is already starting to drop, so we'll get going. As the water is draining, I like to use the other end of the tube to vacuum out the bottom. Make sure to keep the tube under the water so that you don't lose the siphon, and then I just vacuum out the debris. Over time, grass clippings, pieces of mulch, other things that get stuck to your feet tend to build up in the bottom of the tub. I go ahead and vacuum them out while the water is draining so that it's much easier. Here you can see I'm just getting the seats. I try to do this while the water's full so that I don't lose the suction. Then I'll go ahead and just keep vacuuming. Next up is the pressure washer. I do like to pressure wash my sides with a wide angle nozzle. Make sure I get the water line where the scum builds up, if any, and just go ahead and give it a good clean. Get the sides here really well. I'll go ahead and get behind the jets, where the water fountain is, all along the top. I do this while the water is draining so that the water just rinses out with the drain and I don't have to come back in and re-vacuum it out. So just a good wash down with the pressure washer. I do like to stick it in there and get that intake filter. The intake filter has very, very high suction, so I like to knock all the debris off and then vacuum it out while it's still draining, just to get all the stuff that might be stuck. And then I skim the top out since the water level has dropped so much. If I try to vacuum things that are floating on the top, I'll break that suction. So I just use the skimmer to get most of the other stuff out, and I'll let the water drain. Here you can see this is about 8 minutes in, and my hot tub is halfway empty. So a good indication of how fast things will move. Here we are, water's all out, a few remaining puddles in the seats, a couple little things at the bottom of the foot tub that was not sucked up in the tube. So I will just go ahead and turn the shop vac on and vacuum it out like normal. And that way we don't have any water left in the tub. No residue, no soap, no nothing. And here it is, completely empty, completely drained, and ready to fill. Looks pretty good. Next up, I'll turn the breaker back on, and I'll start to prime the water. So I will go ahead and use a pre-filter. I put the hose in the filter area so that it does run through the jets. That prevents any airlock. That pre-filter on the end of the hose just helps keep out any minerals or deposits from the water, so that way we're kind of using cleanest water we can. It does not affect the acidity of the water, so we will have to obviously maintain a balance, which I will show you here in the next few steps. So breaker's back on, now the tub is full. Here we can see the jets are circulating all of our new water. Looks pretty clean. That is very, very cold from the hose. And I'm going to go ahead and put my new filter in. Once the filter's in, you can see the water circulating around there, ready to go. I stumbled across this new product from Water Trends. It's called a Basket Buddy. Pretty interesting. You can go ahead and put that little sock over the basket before it gets into the filter. And it just helps keep debris and grass and whatever else might be in your hot tub out of the filter. I'm sure your filter will love it. Should just keep everything kind of there so you can scoop it out and throw it away, you know, or discard it without it getting caught into the filter and into the tubes. So pretty interesting. You get about 5 per packet, and here it is just on there. As you can see, we're going to go ahead and top off the filter there with it. Put the other cap back on it, and we're all set. Time to check the water levels. Here I got my test strip out. The first thing I'm checking for is all the balance of the water. I do have very, very high pH in this tub, so it will take me quite some time to bring this down. I will show you in the next step the abbreviated version, but it does take me a good amount of Water Trends pH down to balance my water level. But before I do that, I like to add the metal stain and control. This just keeps the hot tub from being stained so that everything kind of stays nice and shiny. It doesn't take very much. Be sure to read the directions for your specific hot tub, but we'll go ahead and let that circulate first, and then we'll get started with our balancing. Chemical hardness, calcium hardness is next. This keeps your water hard. You do need to maintain a good hardness in order for your water to work. Soft water is not good for the hot tub. It will ruin your pipes, lead to rust, so you want to maintain good calcium hardness in your tub. Here's that pH balance Water Trends I was telling you about. I know that I'm going to need about 4 bottles for my tub, so I just got them set out here ready to go. I will do 1 bottle or so at a time, and I will retest every time I do it to make sure that I'm not getting it too low. So here we go with our pH down. Labels on the side, directions on the back. Be sure to follow them. I do like Water Trends a lot. I like the liquid. I think they do the best job. So check them out. You can get them at the Great Escape. Pretty good product. Highly recommend all of their chemicals for everything you do. Here we are, several hours later. In this case, the pH is now down, ready to go. So next up, we're going to add the chlorine. I do use chlorine to sanitize my water. I do find that it acts a little bit quicker, but it is very, very, very sensitive to pH. So you do have to maintain a perfect balanced pH in order for your chemical to work here. It is better in the sunlight. Since my hot tub's outdoors and it's summertime, I tend to stay with the chlorine. It does need to be checked every other day or so to make sure that it's still there. You can alternatively use bromine. Bromine does have different requirements. It is softer and very, very sensitive to the sun. So depending on your tub and conditions, you can check that out. Bromine is just another way to sanitize. So feel free to look at both. Either way, we should work. Once the water's sanitized, I add in my 5-in-1 clarifier, again by Water Trends. This product will make your water sparkle. It grabs any impurities in the water, makes them stick together so that they pass through the filter and get caught. I add about 1 ounce of this product every other week or so, just to make sure that my filter is catching all of the stuff that might be in my water. And as you can see, it turns it blue, it filters it around, and there it starts to sparkle a little bit. Pretty great product. There it goes, down the filter. And here we are. Final product. Water's nice and balanced, sanitized, and clean. Looks pretty refreshing. It is heating up, so that's on the cool cycle to heat up. Will take me a couple hours for it to get up to the temperature that we have selected. Make sure that while it is foaming here, you reset your control panel so that it is up to date with the current dates and warnings so that you know when to reset your stuff. Hope you liked my video. Please subscribe for more. I will add more to the channel later. Make sure you tell your friends, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out in the comments. Thank you for your time. Good luck with your hot tub. And as always, be safe, be smart, and it's time to relax.